Welcome back to my home and my kitchen. About a week ago, I had an email from a viewer asking me if I would show one of my all-time favorite fall things to make. It's a treat, and it's classic caramel apples. They're delicious, really nice tart apples dipped in a caramel that hardens up a little bit. I put some chocolate and toffee on mine, and I'll show you how I make them. This is what you'll need for the recipe. You need a cup of heavy cream or heavy whipping cream, depending on what you can find in your supermarket. A cup of regular granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of non-salted, unsalted butter, a quarter cup of dark corn syrup. Look on your baking aisle of your supermarket, and where they have the regular corn syrup, you should find a dark corn syrup as well. You'll also need 6 apples. I prefer to use Granny Smith apples. I think their tartness sort of goes really great with the sweetness of the caramel. It's good. Also, you need a large saucepan. You'll also need a large bowl filled halfway with ice, half ice and half water. Once we cook our caramel, we need to be able to put that into a vessel that's large enough, filled with ice water to stop that cooking process. And another very important element that you'll need for this is a candy thermometer. They're available at any kitchen store. Even large sort of box stores have candy thermometers, so you'll need one of those, and they're not expensive. And aside from that, for the apples, you'll need some sort of stick to put them. You can definitely use tongue depressors or craft sticks. I like to go out to the yard and get nice aspen twigs and wash those very well. And they're going to go in, it just adds a nice little touch. So to get started with our caramel, I'm going to turn the heat on high and begin by adding our cream. And I use a spatula just because the cream tends to stick to the side of a measuring cup. So scrape all that out so you get it all in there. Then our 1 cup of granulated sugar goes in. The 2 tablespoons of butter. Right in. And our quarter cup of the corn syrup. And I'm just going to use a little scraper to make sure that that all comes out. All right. Okay, now for this caramel, you don't want to do a lot of stirring to it, but I do just want to make sure that everything gets sort of nicely distributed here before it gets too hot. So I'm just going to give it a nice stir and let this come up to a boil. While I'm waiting for my caramel sauce to start to boil, I'm going to take my sticks. And it's good if you go ahead and get this done early on in the process so that when it's ready to dip into the caramel, you have them ready. So just kind of work your stick down into the apple, and you want to go pretty far down in there because you want them to be solid when they're picked up. You know, you don't want to have apples dropping off in your front yard or at a party. So I'm going to get all these sticks worked into the apples. So my mixture has just come to a boil. At this point, I just want to turn the heat down just a little bit, and I don't want to stir it once it starts to boil. You can shake the pan around a little bit, but you don't want to put a spoon or something that might have a little granule of something on it because the sugar could mess up. And at this point, we want to add our candy thermometer. Make sure it's sitting right in the mixture. We want to watch this, and when it gets to 245 degrees, we're going to take it off immediately and put it into our ice water bath. Just now it just started to boil, and it looks like we're right at about 210 degrees. Okay, our thermometer just hit 245 degrees. So into our ice water bath, this goes just to shock it. You don't want to stick it in here for too long because it'll cool the mixture down too quickly. That should be it. Just a couple of good dunks in that ice water. We'll get the outside of our pot nicely cooled. And then we're going to head over and start dipping our apples. So we have our apples already on their sticks, which is very helpful. And the best thing that I find to do is to get your apple in there and coat the bottom slightly with your caramel. And then using a spoon, come in here and just sort of wrap it right around until the entire thing is coated. Okay, so once you get the entire apple coated, like I said, I like to coat mine with a layer of little miniature chocolates and little toffee bits. So just roll that right through your chocolate right through your toffee. And you could use nuts, you could use M&Ms, you could use Red Hots, you know, whatever looks good or sounds good to you. And then onto your tray that's coated either in parchment paper or a pad, a silicone mat. Then put these in the refrigerator for at least 15 minutes and up to overnight. And they're really delicious. So just continue doing this with the rest of your apples. Work quickly and they're gonna be delicious. So here we have it, the caramel apples that we've coated in little miniature chocolate bits and toffee bits. They're delicious. And once your caramel gets set up, they're really ready to serve. I like to put them on little platters like this to pass around to guests or to trick-or-treaters who come to the house. I really hope you'll try this recipe. It's a nice fall treat. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and please feel free to email me at scottindenver@msn.com should you want to make a comment on this recipe or ask me to prepare one for you. I'll be happy to. Okay, have a good day. Bye.